Hi guys, this is Vishal here from DrapCode. So in the last video, you've seen how to create your first project. Now let's say you have your team members and you want to invite them, or maybe you are building for some client, right? You want to transfer the ownership of the project to the client. So let's see how that can be done. So once you go to the project, you see this setting icon like this. So you go to the settings and you go to team members and you invite your team members. So you just give their name. So let's say James at the rate DrapCode.com and then send invite. So this will send an invitation email to them. You can see the team members which are invited for this project, and you can also revoke the access once their work is done or you don't want them to be any longer part of your team. So here if I go to team members, I can see the invitation which I've sent, and I can also cancel the invitation. Once let's say they have accepted the invitation, so they will, you can actually see them as part of team members, so they will appear here. Now let's say you are building for the client, right? So you want to transfer the ownership. So you can basically, you go to this thing, transfer ownership. So you just type the email of the client. Let's say it's client@drapcode.com and you click transfer. So this will basically transfer the ownership. It obviously checks whether the client or an account with this email exists or not. So first client need to register. Once they have a valid account, the project can be transferred to them. And you can, let's say you want to do further changes after the transfer has been done, you can just ask the client to invite you back or add you as a team member so that they own the project and you are the team member. So both ways are possible, whether you are building and you want to invite your team, or you're building for someone else and they want you to be part of the team so that they can invite you. So whoever is the owner, the billing works for them, so they will have to subscribe. Okay, and this is a default permission for cloning of the project. So let's say you have released a public template, right? Anyone can clone it. So you can just say project can be cloned without permission and just change. Let's say you don't want someone to clone it without your approval, so you can just choose project allowed to clone after approval, so they can clone it, but once you approve then only they will be able to access it. Or let's say you don't want anyone to clone your project at all, so you can just say project not allowed to clone. So this basically controls you that whether they can clone it or not, and this is the clone URL. So you just copy this. So this is a clone URL. You can share it with your team member, with other people who you want to clone your project, so they can have a similar project, exactly same project in their account, and which will be an exact replica of the project which they are cloning. I hope you understand how to add your team members and how to transfer the ownership of the project to someone else. See you again in the next video. Bye bye.